Begin by cleaning the center hub on the base of the VSI. Make sure it's free from any debris and dirt. Apply a generous layer of copper slip compound. Now apply a fair amount to the center hub ring on the bearing cartridge. Next, carefully lift the bearing cartridge using a crane and slowly drop it into the center hub on the base. Before the bearing cartridge is completely inserted into the base, make sure that the grease ports on the cartridge are orientated towards the rear of the VSI. This is regarded as the short end of the VSI. Now you may completely insert the bearing cartridge. Next, prepare the top taper ring for insertion by loosely fastening two handling bolts into opposing threaded holes on the thicker side of the taper ring. This is regarded as the top of the taper ring. Now lift and carefully place the top taper ring into the center hub of the bearing cartridge and line up the unthreaded holes on the top taper ring with the threaded holes on the base. Insert the 8 M20x100 retaining bolts and spring washers into the unthreaded holes on the top taper ring. Using a rubber mallet, systematically tap the taper ring deeper into the center hub until the retaining bolts can catch thread. Now set your torque range to 70 Nm. Systematically tighten the retaining bolts so that the taper ring is compressed into place equally on all sides. It is important to tighten the bolts in a systematic fashion, going from one bolt to the opposing one. Once you have tightened all 8 retaining bolts to 70 Nm, set your torque range to 136 Nm and again systematically tighten all 8 retaining bolts. Fasten the M20x30 bolts provided into the 8 exposed holes on the taper ring. This is to prevent any debris from clogging up these holes. Next, using a flathead screwdriver and mallet, tap the screwdriver into the slit on the taper lock bush and expand. Carefully place the taper lock bush onto the bearing cartridge shaft. Once securely placed, remove the screwdriver and any handling bolts. Now, from underneath the VSI base, you will see the bottom end of the bearing cartridge. With an Allen key, remove the grease port nipples from the bearing cartridge. Next, using a flathead screwdriver, expand the bottom inner sleeve. The thicker part of the sleeve will be facing up once inserted. Therefore, make sure you are expanding it on the thinner side. You may need to use a rubber mallet to assist in inserting the sleeve. Once the inner sleeve is in, remove the screwdriver and the sleeve should stay in place. Now, prepare the bottom taper ring for insertion by applying a generous layer of copper slip compound to the inner part of the ring, along with 2 handling bolts. Lubricate the 8 retaining bolts and have them ready for fastening. Lift the ring into place. Align the unthreaded holes on the taper ring with the threaded holes on the center hub. Loosely fasten 8 retaining bolts and spring washers into the unthreaded holes until the ring is held in place. Set your torque range to 70 Nm and systematically tighten each bolt following the same pattern as before. Make sure you are slowly compressing the taper ring evenly on all sides. Once all bolts have been tightened, set your torque range to 136 Nm and repeat the tightening process. It is now time to connect the grease hoses. Before fitting the grease hoses, make sure to prime them with grease. Now connect the hoses to the grease ports on the base of the VSI, then to the ports on the bearing cartridge. Your VSI bearing cartridge is now installed. Should you need to, watch our video on how to successfully remove a bearing cartridge.